So we just finished hanging out with Dan Erdoff, the blind food critic. We went to a little place and had a soda.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I became blind when I was 3 years old. I had a brain tumor. They call it a craniopharyngioma brain tumor, and it basically was wrapped around my optic nerve. I have what they call light and shadow perception, so
So you have shadow? Oh, interesting.
yes.
Okay.
So I can see your shadow, but I can't tell if it's a person or a tree or a chair. I don't know what it is.
What was it like getting started to being the blind food critic?
Basically, I started a blog 3 years ago, and then one day I actually posted a food critic review in the beginning of 2009, and I had the blog imported to Facebook, and people just loved it. I had this great feedback, and so I've been doing it ever since.
So the funny thing is, we're walking down the street, and Dan grabs onto my arm for a sighted guy. I'm like, whoa. So I'm holding on to Ben, and Dan's holding on to me now. We got this little train walking through Manhattan. It was pretty cool.
How do you critique food? You know, how does it work?
My whole process is based around the senses. So I first talk about how the food tastes, but I also think about, the ambiance, the background. We're sitting here in this place, and I'm listening to the music, I'm listening to the crowd, I'm filling the booth. What I'm leaving out is the presentation of the food on the plate, the decor of the restaurant, and things like that.
Any criticism? Any haters? Anybody giving you a hard time because you're the blind food critic? How can you know about food? You can't even look at it.
You know what? I have no vocal haters, I'll say that. I think everyone might have a hater or two out there. Just remember, you're the same as anybody else. Besides any issues with your eyes, you're the same. Maybe you can never drive a taxi or fly an airplane, but other than that, you're the same.
So now what are we doing there, my friend?
Now we're going to meet the blind food critic. We're going to talk about food and stuff, and we're going to talk about the blind experience too. How our worlds are similar and different and all that kind of stuff. It should be interesting. Should be.